Hello. So, sorry if I sound a little bit exhausted. I tried to record this video and I messed up my recording, so this is like the second take of the same video. But hello everybody. So I've been talking about on this channel how I was going to do VOD reviews of some of the games that I lose, because I felt like it might be a good learning experience instead of just posting a lot of the wins. I'm sometimes reluctant to do that because I feel like it just makes for worse content, right? Personally, like I wouldn't really care to watch unless I was like really invested in that YouTuber's journey. I wouldn't really care to like see their horrendous losses because I can, you know. But maybe it helps you guys, and I'll go through my thought processes. I'll be talking a lot this video, and I'm basically going to be like trying to explain a lot early game what my mindset was, why that maybe was a bad mindset, a lot of how I played the mid game, and then towards the end. And I felt like I made mistakes in all of the sections, and I look at these videos myself a lot of the time because I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to learn like what went wrong so I can try and figure stuff out. I think it's hard to like, you know, I think VOD review is always important because when you're like, you know, I'm streaming it and I'm trying to like say things constantly, and sometimes I'm just like being really like redundant and not like actually focused. I think that it's important to take a step back, look at the video outside of a vacuum, and then kind of do stuff. Anyways, so I have Graves. So this is where I think a lot of URF. So this is an URF game, right? I'm not very good with URF. I was never really good with URF, but I also don't really like URF because I feel like sometimes you just pick a tome and then you get super contested. And even if you make mistakes early game and mid game, I feel like that feeling when you're playing the game is so much worse than just playing something else, right? So I never liked URF even when URF was good in like set 9. And now it's at 9.5, a lot of people are like trying URF and playing URF and saying it's really good, but it feels very like all in. It feels like you're kind of playing first or last a lot of the time, because sometimes you just like, even if you don't hit the tome, or you don't hit the thing, or you don't hit your second tome, or you don't hit the units, because then you're forced to pick certain units for certain comps if you lock in early. Anyways, some early game things. If you see a pair of units, you should usually buy the pair of units. So I was going for Alawi because in my head I was a little bit biased towards trying to fit in Bilgewater because I just had a game where I did really well with Bilgewater, and it's kind of like a little bit of recency bias, which sometimes happens when you have like long gaming sessions. You might not notice it, but a lot of the videos that I release on this channel, I usually do them in like one sitting, right? Like a whole week's worth of videos, it's like one grind session because I can't really devote like, you know, playing every single day. And also I really don't enjoy this patch that much. I say it a lot, but I really don't like the pacing and the general like gameplay flow of this patch. It feels very like forcey early on, and is really lobby dependent on like who's forcing what, that you might just get forced out of certain comps, and I really don't like it, right? But you know, maybe they'll fix it and then I'll enjoy the game more. So I don't play that much, right? So anyways, this was after like, you know, I played a couple games before stream, and I played a couple games on stream, and I played this is URF Day, right? So I was trying to fit in Bilgewater, and you really shouldn't. You should really try and look for unit pairs, right? So I didn't have an Alawi pair, right? And I don't have a Samira pair. So, and then it's like I'm getting this, and I'm thinking like, do I go Noxus, right? It's the one where you get an extra spat, so it feels like it's Giga. Like in my head, I'm thinking go 9, right? Like I want a trait where I have 9 or something. So I'm gonna get an emblem. Excuse me, I'm gonna get an emblem off tome, and then I can craft the last one, right? And I can just win out. And I also think like a lot of times also this is like the YouTube mindset where it's like, ooh, you know, I can do something cool for YouTube and I can get 9 of something and have a fancy thumbnail instead of just saying like, oopsie, I won a game, right? Anyways, the other thing you should think about with URF is that you want to grab units that have traits that are good as well as traits that are different. Like Freylord Vanquisher, I put that in. I have Bilgewater, Gunner, Juggernaut is kind of mid, Rogue, and then Freylord Vanquisher. Like these are all kind of good, right? So what you're trying to look for, or I could put in this guy, I could have Void, Bruiser, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to get an assembly of 6 traits, right? So the reason, also I realize I can type, by the way, but you know what, I like the writing. We're gonna keep the messy writing. I think it's nostalgic for me now. But basically what you want is oops, I'm still in type. Let's go here. Let's go here. Okay, I don't know how to change up type. Okay, you have 6 traits. Means 1 tailored. And 8 traits means 2 tailored. So what does this mean, right? So that means even if they're not active, if you have 6 things here, so here I have 4. If you have 6 of them in, when you pop the tome, so let's say this is your nice little tome, right? It's on like a stand because it's fancy. When you pop this, you get one of those traits tailored to your board, right? If you have 6 in. If you have 8 in, then you get 2 of them tailored, right? So usually you don't want to pop tome unless, so 2 tailored means that you have like a 2 out of 8, which is 1/4, and then here you have like a 1 out of 6, right? So usually you want to pop your tome if you have 8 traits in. It's hard to do that early game, and a lot of times with URF, especially in the current meta, you can't wait till much later to create a board because you don't have enough time and health to do so, because the pace of the lobby is also really fast because there's a lot of reroll comps in this meta. So it feels like you just have to pop your tome and just hope that you hit your 1 out of 6, right? If you watch like really good players as like inspiration, I wouldn't suggest like always looking for the best players and trying to copy them, right? I try myself not to do that too much. I try and watch like people closer to my level, like maybe master GM players as well, because like, you know, you're not going to get better at math by studying a university textbook if you don't know grade 5 math, right? You have to do grade 5 math, and you have to do grade 6, and you have to do grade 7. That's just the way a lot of people learn a lot easier. You're not just going to like drop a university like advanced relativity, and you're just going to be like the god of physics and math because you understand advanced relativity, right? It's like you gotta learn the other stuff first, right? So, but all I'm saying is that like across most of the levels, just because the lobbies are really fast, you're not really waiting. Like if you take a tome on 2-1, you're not really waiting till like stage 3 when you can put in 8 traits, or like much later to put in anything. So here I end up putting in 5 traits. I'm really biased towards Bilgewater. I'm holding this because I'm thinking, what if I play Noxus, right? I should have tailored my board for 6 traits. The most important thing about URF, it is 1 round before, right? I spelled before wrong. Whatever. What that means is when you pop the tomes, it's not like you put in 6 traits and it works. It has to be in for 1 round. So right now I have 5 traits in, and because I don't play URF that much, I kind of messed up, right? So I I just have to put in my 6 traits, and I'm kind of like autopiloting, and I forgot that like it has to be the round prior. I know this. I played URF last set. It's just because like I haven't played URF in forever, that I'm kind of like rusty, like, you know, like the dumb things, because as soon as I pop, I'm like, wait, they're not tailored. I'm like, wait, it hasn't been around, because like, you know, but that's something I made the mistake. I see people in every game I play make this mistake. Maybe it's a diamond elo thing. Maybe like lower elo they know what to do. Maybe higher elo they know what to do. But I'm saying in my personal experience, I see this all the time, and I did it, and I feel so dumb, and I'm actually super embarrassed during the stream when I was playing. So what I look at is Void, Shurima, Invoker, Targon, right? So let's start with Invoker. I don't think Invoker is that strong. I'm not really playing for 8 Invoker, and there's no real unit you want to swap in with 6 Invoker, where the Invoker emblem is really important. It's good if you can like hit an Ari. Like there's some units where like if they get like a bunch of mana, they're like giga strong. But like I'm not really planning my board 2-1 around Invoker. I feel like it's a grief. Targon, they just nerfed Nico, and I don't really have like Nico. A lot of times you need like some combat stuff to work out, and you need some items. I don't really see that I have Nico items or Targon items. So, you know, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know, probably not. I look Shurima. Shurima looks juicy, but I'll come back to it. Void. So I think it was like off screen or sometime before. I remember scouting. Maybe I didn't properly scout, but I remember seeing 2 Bruiser players and 2 people that had multi, right? So first of all, I'm always reluctant to take Void because I've lost a lot taking Void Emblem, because in the current patch with the multis, what happens is Vel'Koz is very contested, and a lot of times I can't stabilize. Vel'Koz a lot of the time is your main carry with the Void Emblem, and sometimes you end up even going into like a Void multicaster board. A lot of times with the Void Emblem you're just going Void reroll. I have a video about it on my channel, but it's really hard because like sometimes you're just like hard contested because of the multicaster players. Because I saw the 2 bruiser players as well, or I saw people that started with Chos. I was like, okay, well, I have only 1 Cho. I have no like void units. Even if I grab this emblem, I don't even have void this round, right? It seems like a bit too forcing as opposed to Shurima. Now obviously, like, I don't have a tailored trait. Like, imagine if I had Bilgewater or Noxus this board or something cool, like I might have actually like had a decent opener. But I look at Shurima and I'm like, okay, so we have Shurima, I have Vandal Cafeteria, so I have a spat, so I can make another Shurima spat. So I can stabilize my board really well, because a lot of times it's really easy to fit in 4 Shurima, right? Before Shurima is kind of dead, like it's kind of useless, right? Usually you fit in 2 just for fun, right? And it's usually like Azir, Nasus, right? So 2 is usually good. 4 you can kind of fit in sometimes, right? You put like a Talia, you put like the dog, right? So sometimes you just happen across 4 Shurima. But what I'm hoping is that I can make a 4 Shurima board, stabilize with a 6 Shurima board, because I'll have 2 emblems, and then if I can, I go 9 and I play a large board. And you know, I'm kind of familiar with playing around Azir because I like the strategist line. That's one of my more favorite lines because it feels very like it feels like my kind of game where you roll down on 7, you just play what you hit. And there's a couple other options for Shurima, which I'll discuss later because I make mistakes anyways later. But I think this whole logic is flawed. I think I shouldn't have even taken Tome because I'm not a good URF player. Because I already fucked up my I shouldn't have popped Tome. If I took Tome, I shouldn't have popped it. That's my main mistake. Because popping it and getting any one of these is way better than having Shurima. Because I just find a Rexa, I just throw in Shurima, I'm like, whatever, right? Anyways, I run into this guy, and he looks like he's playing Shurima. I think he was playing towards, when I looked at him, I understood him as playing towards Bruiser when I scouted. So I was like, okay, Bruiser, there's a guy with an actual Bruiser +1. This guy's thing, there's a couple guys with Pandora, so I'm expecting that they might pivot multi. I'm trying to see what they slam as items, and I'm like, that's okay, right? This guy took return on investment, so to me, it looks like he's going like a re-rolling, but when I look at return on investment, I think I misunderstood it. I thought it was the one where, like, when I was looking at it, because the symbol looks really similar, I thought it was the one that when you reroll, it goes down to 1 gold, and that's my mistake as well. This is the one where when you reroll, you get a fawn, right? So that's really bad, because if it's a reroll and you get a fawn, that means that he's trying to play a level 9 board, probably. So I should have known off rip that this guy is probably going to pivot into Shurima. If he has a Shurima opener and it's a craftable spat and he picked an augment that he's going towards 9, I should have known, I should have properly scouted, right? I didn't really scout that hard while I was picking the tome. I kind of scouted the round before and whatever. So this guy's the Bruiser guy. I thought that guy was going to contest into Bruisers based on his opener because he has a Cassio and a Rek'Sai. This guy's going Noxus. Now I'm scouting like a lot slower because I'm like, wait, I need to like see. This guy, I thought he was going thing, right? So you see here, so the round prior, this guy didn't make this. But look, when I come to see this guy made a Noxus spat. That's fine, right? So a lot of times you slam spats early and you put them on bench because it's basically like telling the lobby, hey, I'm hard forcing this, so if you contest me, that's on you, right? And it's like, I'll hold hands with you, right? It's the same reason why I like when you pick URF, you pick early, because it's kind of like indicating to the lobby, this is my direction, right? And it's important to tell people your direction because, you know, as much as, okay, so we saw the multi guy, that's fine. I was gonna pause on this other guy. So this other guy is doing the same thing I did. He's like saying, hey, this is my direction, right? I'm going Shurima. This is a separate guy. It looks like it's the same guy, but these are 1-star versions, right? But when I saw him earlier, I saw the Talia, and I thought he was gonna go multis because this line with this dude, right? I think I didn't properly like scout out the trait because I saw that this guy was TF, and then he took like an item thing, right? So I thought it was like Pandora's items, even though it doesn't look like Pandora's items. In my head, I was like, oh, I see a Talia and a TF player. That's going to be a multi guy, right? Because in my head, I'm always counting. If there's 2 multi guys, the comp supports 2 players. 2 multis, if you play it right, they'll both top 4, right? So for me, it's like, well, I'm not going multis because I'm URF now. And it's going to be hard for me to get the items unless I get an item trait or an item augment. But I was looking at that, I'm like, okay, whatever, right? It's all good. So him going Shurima is kind of bad because I don't think Shurima's that good, right? I honestly don't think it's that good. The main reason I took it was because I fucked up my tomes and I didn't see anything else that I could win with, right? Because I don't want to go into void if it's getting contested, like, excuse me, multiple ways. I'd rather just get contested Shurima is my logic. But I don't believe in Shurima that much. I think like 6 Shurima isn't even that strong. I think other comps are gonna hard beat it. Anyways, so I see this guy again. I'm like, okay, he's forcing Shurima. I don't know why, but like this is crazy. Why is there this guy forcing Shurima? And this isn't even the guy that had a good Shurima opener, right? So I'm like, well, this sucks, right? But I don't know really a pivot, right? The pivots for Shurima are, you can play Demacia because you play like a Demacia challenger board. You can play like Mord, right? But it's like there's not many good pivots. Like there's Strategist, but somebody's going Noxus, so it's gonna be hard to hit those units, right? But it's kind of just like an awkward thing to put in, right? So for me, it's like I look at this and I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing here. And I think that's the big problem. I think my problem all stems from starting with Shurima, because if you're not familiar with the line, like even now, I don't really know many pivots. I'm not really concerned about learning them because I don't think I'm ever gonna go Shurima again after this game, right? I'm all, like, listen, I played a lot of URF games on stream. I lost a lot of them, and I like, instead of like saying to myself like I want to like learn the pivots out of Shurima, I think I'm just gonna pivot off of URF, you know. I think it's just I don't see the value in it because most of my games go like this, where I take the emblem first and mistakes made, whatever, but I feel like other people don't scout and don't care, right? They just like they'll just hard force into what I'm doing sometimes, and sometimes not, but a lot of times yeah. And I'd rather not play that type of game because it just makes me sad and it makes me not enjoy the game that much, even though it's a part of the game, right? I think it's understandable. So me, it's like I see one guy definitely going Shurima. So in this case, this is where I make a really big mistake. I should, like, you see one person, right? I think it's really hindsight to say, oh, you see one person contesting you, should pivot. One person contesting you isn't usually a problem. The problem is when multiple people contest you. Because if multiple people are contesting you, then you're kind of fucked, right? Like one person contest you is fine because like other people take units. It's a little bit hard because like, you know, other people might take specific units and you get screwed, right? But I look at this, it's like maybe I should have just played Shurima Bilgewater. It's not like a good thing to play, but in my head, I didn't really see the value in it. But I'm like almost first pick. I take the thing to slam another Shurima spat. The reason I'm slamming a second Shurima spat is because it makes me force Shurima now, because right? So it makes me strong. I want to take the raw just to leave me open, because even if I can't make that, it's still an item that I can put on somebody else. I just want to be strong early, because when you're contested, you have to win on something, right? If you're contested with somebody, you either have to have better units than them, you have to have better econ than them, or you have to have better health than them. So I'm not sure about econ, I'm not sure about units, but what I do want is I want a lot of health, because I'm anticipating that 2 people are going to pivot into multis like every game that I play, or at least one person is going to be multi, and then other people might go reroll. There's already a reroll Cho that we identified in the board, and for my knowledge, I thought there was going to be 2 reroll Chos, right? So I'm just marking these units to make sure I don't accidentally miss them, because, you know, I'm dumb sometimes. I wanted to mark all the Shurima units, but it's like I don't want to be like in Team Planner the whole game. Right? So anyways, because a lot of people are reroll, I feel like I'm going to lose a lot of health, so I want to make sure that I'm strong early. I want to make sure I have a lot of health so that I can make it to 7, I can have my 7 roll down, I can figure it out. Now this guy is the guy that really annoyed me, but this is a third guy that's going Shurima now, right? It's another dude that took a Shurima spat. It's like, I understand that there's not many craftable spats in this spot, but I never imagined, and this is also a me problem, because I should always think what's a craftable spat, and that's why Shurima maybe isn't the best to go in some of these situations, in my opinion. I thought like when I play Bruiser and I have a +1 spat, right? What I think, anyway, is this the same guy? Wait, maybe it's the same guy. Let me double check before I start explaining this point. So what am I? I'm at 823. It was like right after this round I played somebody. No, it's not the same guy, right? Well, no, this is the other guy, right? I'm so confused because everybody has the same boards. This is the bruiser guy. I was just talking about return on investment. We want to talk about return on investment. I guess it's the same guy as the return on investment guy, right? That I thought was re-rolling. Yeah, it's this guy. So this guy, I thought he was going to go bruiser, and this is what I was saying. I should have known that he wasn't going bruiser because it was return on investment, right? But still, once I figure out his return on investment, where was I? I was at 8 minutes. I think what I was saying still makes sense. Like, my logic in the game was probably the same because I figured out after that it was return on investment. And what I was thinking is this, chat. So I'll try and show it with stat pages. So, because I researched this, right? But I understand maybe most people don't research. Maybe that's the thing. But what I'm trying to think of is like, one of the strongest bruiser boards isn't bruiser Shurima, right? Because when you're playing bruiser, right? If you have like 4 bruiser, usually your board is bruiser with a Cassiopeia. So you're at 2 Shurima, right? If you're playing 4 Shurima, that means that you basically need to have a bruiser +1 if you're going bruiser board, right? And I was thinking this guy was going to go bruiser board because he had like 2-star of Renekton and then I Scout later and he has 2-star Cho and whatever, right? So in my head, if you're playing 4 Shurima, a lot of times what you do is you swap out the Cassio if you don't hit Cassio 3 with Azir, because the Cassio item can go on Azir and then like an Azir 2 is going to be stronger than a Cassio 1. But you're never really making a Shurima spat because like your +1 isn't ever going to be Shurima, right? Like, what are you going to play? You're going to play 4 bruiser, 4 Shurima? It's not that good. See, it averages like a 4.9. Are you going to play, where is it? That's for later. 6 bruiser, 4 Shurima? It averages a 3.4, but this is really hard to fit in, right? Also, I'm using the Stats Explorer. I don't have the premium, so I can't do like the really specific things to make sure, like checking the items things. So some of these stats are kind of fake. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying like this is the be-all, end-all, but I'm just thinking logically the board, right? So you have 6 bruiser, you're level 8, you have 6 bruiser in, and you want to play 4 Shurima, so you get a spat, and you're spatting one of the bruisers to be a Shuriman, and you're playing, who are you playing besides, so you're playing like Azir, Cassio, and that's your board. It's like, what I always think is better is one of the best boards in the game right now, by far, is Nyla bruiser board. Because the interaction between Nyla, Ashe, and Sedge is really strong. So whenever I see people going bruiser, it's the same with like multicasters, right? The logic that I have is if you hit multicasters and you're contested, basically what you do is you look at the other guy. Is he getting more TFs than you? If he's getting a bunch of TFs, you say, okay, fuck it. You take the TF, I push level, I go for Jarvan and Vel'Koz. And that's how both multicasters top 4, because the trade is busted, but also Vel'Koz is equally as busted as TF, if not more busted. So you go for 3-star Vel'Koz while that guy's going for 3-star TF. Unless you want to do giga high rolls, you won't get both, right? But you pick one and then both of you top 4 anyways, right? Because one guy has Jarvan Vel'Koz and the other guy has Galio TF, and it's like, it just comes down to like who hits the auxiliary units better. When you see bruiser contest, like if someone's going Cho reroll, it's like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna push levels, I'm gonna get Sejuani, I'm gonna get Nyla. And you play bruiser Nyla, because bruiser Nyla you can play without even wanting to go Cho reroll. It's probably one of the best, like it's one of the most consistent, it's one of the best comps. If you want to climb right now, it's one of the easiest comps to climb with, right? Because of the interaction, because you play Sedge, and then the Freljord, and this. So this is what I was thinking. I'm thinking if you have a craftable spat, you can play towards 4 bruiser, because usually on that board you only play 2 bruiser. You just throw in a bruiser for fun with the Sedge. But if you play 4 bruiser with the spat, you can play the board with 4 bruiser and a spat, and the spat will be your 3rd Bilgewater. And then if you end up actually hitting your bruiser units, or you hit a bruiser +1, it's like giga strong to play 6 bruiser, 3 Bilgewater. So when I see somebody contesting, I think that's the easy pivot out, not to pivot to Shurima. Shurima isn't that strong. Even with bruiser, it's not that strong, right? So this is what I was thinking. If you look at the differences in averages, like, it's insane how much better it is, right? So I think that's just a me-ism, but that's what I thought was wrong. So that's my thought process of why I stuck with Shurima. Now, I think the whole thing was flawed. I'm not roasting other people, I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing, blah blah blah. That's not the point of this. What I'm saying is, like, I'm trying to learn what everybody's doing and what everybody else should have done, what I should have done in response to them, because not what they should have done, it's more so what should I respond and how should I, instead of thinking about what I'm thinking of, think about what they're thinking of, right? And that's like a really big part of TFT that sometimes I struggle with, like games like this, right? And that's a lot about being on topic with what the lobby is doing. And I think I drastically missed that. If you can't tell in this whole first bit of the video, I think I drastically missed what was going on in this lobby. I think every read, every understanding of what people were going, I did not understand. And it all started with me messing up my tome pick, because I wouldn't have gone Shurima anyways, but now I'm kind of forced to. And I think the second step of me showing that I wanted to go Shurima by making a second spat, I should just cut my losses. At that point, you just play for 5th, right? You're down an augment because you picked Shurima spat. I made the mistake, and there's no salvaging the game, right? I can't force Shurima anymore because too many people are pivoting into it. For some reason, I don't know why they're pivoting into Shurima. Maybe they got some secret tech that I don't know about. But anyways, I'm trying to be healthy. I have some upgrades, right? Because I have this Nautilus, which, you know, it's a bit expensive to have on board, but he's there anyways. I put in the MF. I still have 3 Bilgewater. I have 4 Shurima. I'm decently strong for stage 3. And I have, like, I always have these unit things open, right? Because I'm an idiot. I'm always, like, reading what units do because, like, I don't know, I get distracted. But you have to think about it. Now, this is the guy that was going this, right? He ended up hitting some Cassios, but look at what he did, right, chat? He sent it for Cho. So I think I'm back in the clear. This guy just slammed a Shurima spat. He's going Cho reroll, and I'll be fine, right? Because the thing with Cho reroll, if you're rerolling early, you have less gold, right? Which means he's gonna have less gold to hit 7 and roll on 7 later. So I am on a race to get to 7. I hit these. I actually want to look at this better. So big grab bag. I have a lot of items on bench, so I didn't think I needed big grab bag. But it has a reforger, right? And in my head, I was thinking, do I just take big grab bag, fuck it, reforge the Shurima span, and just roll the dice? I think that's a bit risky. You have my bow, I think is good. Because it gives me a bow. I can play towards RFC Nyla, which I should have done because I already have a bow and I have Bilgewater, and I should have just played Shurima, Bilgewater, Nyla. I don't know if it's any good, but it's definitely better than what I did. And it gives attack speed. I ended up taking the Titan's Resolve. The reason I took Titan's Resolve is because I already have a bow, and I was thinking, am I playing towards RFC Nyla? I was thinking, like, there's a build where you can play Nasus, and you can double Titans Nasus, and like double Titans and a what's it called? Bloodthirster. And you just make him like a Giga Tank. And I was also thinking, like, this just makes me tanky in general. And the other thing I was thinking of is the reason I took Titans as well is because you can play Shurima Demacia. So what you do is your board is like Fiora, Jarvid, Sona, and then you play Talia, Azir, Nasus, and then you have +1 that you put like another Shurima frontline, and you're like 4 Shurima, 3 Demacia, 2 Challenger, 2 Multicaster, right? 2 Strategists, and it's really strong. It's actually probably the best, like if you're like having like a Shurima core, it's probably the best Shurima core. Like Azir carry board, like not just Azir as like the extra unit, right? Next to like Strategist, maybe it's like debatably even better, because Strategist, the only reason it's like really good is because you get your Noxus stacks in and then you can pivot off of that. But it's really good. It's probably better than like Silco Azir, I think, because you can also Shurima spat your Demacia units. So I'm thinking like, okay, I play towards Fiora out maybe, and I'm playing that board, right? What ends up happening this game, so there's not a lot middle game because I'm just trying to like get money, right? I want to be richer and healthier than the people contesting me, which I think I'm in a 3-way contest. It ends up being a 4-way contest because the other bruiser guy just ends up grabbing a bunch of Azirs, I'm pretty sure. So it's actually really bad. But I think my setup for this game was bad, and I'm trying to dig my way out of it. I should have dug my way earlier, right? But now I'm kind of playing towards maybe I hit a Fiora out, right? I think the problem is I'm not naturally anything, right? I didn't natural a single Cassiopeia, right? I found a Twisted Fate, so I just put in Twisted Fate because, like, fuck it, whatever, I get some multicaster value, right? I'm not really trying to play towards multicaster. Maybe I could have pivoted multicaster, but I didn't have multicaster items, and I didn't hit Pandora's. Right, I have no tiers. The only tiers are like me losing my elo. Anyways, so this is what I do. So I have a lot of gold. I'm 45 gold before here. A strat that a lot of people, you might criticize that I'm rolling on neutral instead of after neutrals, but a lot of time what you do is you roll earlier because you're just trying to like have like an uncontested roll down, because the game doesn't know that I'm contested, right? They don't know I'm contested for Azir. So as long as I hit 7 first and I have gold to roll down, I'm right now rolling uncontested for Azir, right? So I grab these, I send it, right? I'm sending it. I hit this. This is where I think I make the big mistake. That was my biggest mistake. So if you look right here, I bought this is probably what would have saved me the game versus what doesn't save me the game. So you see here, I click both of them because I'm like, maybe I pivot to challengers, right? Like Shurima Kaisa probably can't be bad, right? But really what you should look at here is anytime you're in a position like I'm in this position, right? What you're looking for is, what outs do I have? And the main outs that you want to look for, or the main outs that I see that I should look for, is like any 2-star forecast. Like, fuck it, we don't care. We're not discriminating. We're in such a bad spot. Any 2-star forecast, right? Any 2-star forecast, and we just send it, right? Because we just want to stabilize, right? We're on our roll down. We want to stabilize. So you see here, I sell this. I put this in. I buy the MF, and I clicked the I thought that I had bench space because basically I just want to get these items off MF. I didn't want to upgrade to MF2. We'll go through it again while I talk. I didn't want to upgrade to MF2 because I wanted to take these items off. Now, another thing that I did is I slammed these items early. The reason I slammed all these items before is because I just wanted to stay healthy, right? I wanted to try and, like, even though I was losing, I noticed the rest of the lobby got a bit stronger. I skipped over it. This video is already really long because I feel like I'm rambling, but there's a lot to talk about when you lose, because obviously I made a lot of mistakes, and that's what you should take away from it, right? But, you see here, I slammed items because I just wanted to be healthier, right? Maybe that's the wrong decision, but I think that's okay, right? So I made items that I think are flexible, right? Because these items I can put on Azir, but I can also put on other people. The other option I had was like making a Nashor's Tooth, but if I made a Nashor's Tooth, then I was stuck with like things I didn't like. Anyways, so what happened is I accidentally I clicked on the Kaisa, but then I didn't. Okay, here's the second mistake. Wait, these are the big parts. So I clicked on the Kaisa, and I click on the Fiora here. You know, I'm thinking like, okay, I can play towards those. I clicked on the Quinn because I'm like, that's +1 Demacia if I have 3 Demacia, and I can play the Fiora. I want to get the items off of MF because it's like whatever. And I click the Kaisa and it doesn't come out. So now I'm missing Kaisa 2 on bench, or I'm missing 2 Kaisas on bench, which can save me. So now I look at my board and I said I didn't hit, right? And it's like I don't know what to do here, but I didn't hit basically, right? And the thing that I didn't hit is because I don't have a pair of either of them, right? So I didn't hit any Azirs uncontested, by the way. On my roll down, I didn't see a single Azir. I saw 1 Nasus, no Azirs, no Jarvans, uncontested, right? I don't think anybody in the lobby at this point had any, but they might have been rolling down at the same time as me, and obviously I'm not scouting while I'm rolling. So there's a chance that they just took them all, and that's why I didn't hit it. But what I think to myself is I'm just going to sell these units because I want to make 30 so that I can resend it after this neutral again, right? Because now I have pick of the items, and I think that I drastically displayed it. I should have held on to the Fiora. I think it was more important than Econ. I should have sold this MF. I should have sold this dude. I should have held the Fiora. Because I have a Fiora item. I have a Bloodthirster. I have Bloodthirster Titans. I have this Fiora, right? But I sold everything. So now I just lose. That's why I lost, right? The way I saw it is that I still have a lot of health. I can resend it, right? I was like, I'll just resend it, right? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm rolling first. Nobody has Azir. I'm going to resend it. So I hit Cassante. And I think I resend it here a little bit. Or maybe I don't resend it right now. I send it next turn. So I'm like, I'm going to resend it in 1 turn, right? I think that's my logic. And no, I send a little bit. So I hit Jarvan, finally. And that's all I hit. And I hit a Swain, so I grabbed the Swain in case I play Strategist. This guy's just giga strong. He's level 7, I think. what is he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's level 7 and he has a Scion and a fucking Aatrox. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's level 8. I don't think he's level 8. I think he's level 7. He's high rolling out of his mind. That's fine, you know. Everybody has their own game. So now I'm like, okay, well, what do I get here? I'd say maybe I take Know Your Enemy, just give some base damage. And then here's my other mistake. You know, I already fucked up. I didn't take the Fiora. I should at least take the Nyla. Like, come on, Fenrir. So I roll it down again. At this point, everybody's hitting. And you can see, like, everybody's rolling. So now I'm rolling contested. I think on this roll down, I hit no Azirs. I don't think this is when other people hit. I don't know how to find it, though. But I think after this round, I'm trying to look at the side to see when people hit. But, okay, this guy's another Noxus guy, which isn't even the same guy. So they ended up being 2 Noxus players. And they both hit nice boards. Me, I have, no backline. Look at me scout now. It's like a turn after I roll, and I didn't see it. This happened this turn. This guy hit a 0-2. On level 7, rolling after me. But he not only hit a 0-2, right? I think this is what broke me with this game. But this guy not only hit a 0-2, he has Nasus 2. And this was not like the turn prior. And he has a Jarvan. And this was the guy that was like contesting. I rolled way before him. I rolled like 50 gold before him. And he hit everything. He doesn't even have a rolling augment, right? And look, he has 30 gold left. Right? He just high rolled out of his mind. I didn't see a single one, right? I showed you the roll down. Now, I did make mistakes, right? I should have picked certain units. But Lynn, you see on the side here? Do you see on the side there? I tabbed out because I was just like checking a stat or something. Did you see this? Did you see on the side here, this guy? There was an Azir 2. He also just hit an Azir 2 on 7. Contested. So I feel like, you know, obviously a lot of this video I wanted to spend earlier showing all the mistakes I made leading up to this point, but you have to admit, I got fucking scammed, right? I rolled earlier than all of these guys, and they both hit Azir 2, and I didn't see a single Azir, right? Now, I should have probably played towards Fiora, but the problem is, you have to understand, like, at that point, I'm just playing for placement. I didn't even hit Fiora 2, right? I would have hit Kai'Sa 2, maybe, but I didn't hit Fiora 2. Like, I didn't even see more than one Fiora on my roll down, and Fiora is not even contested. There's nobody playing Demacia. So this is where everything just goes really bad. I just lose out from here, right? And the thing is, Shurima isn't that strong, so guess who else loses out? All the other dudes that went Shurima. Also, this is one of the dudes that was going thing. He has a Cassante. So he ended up playing Cassante, and then he has Milio and Cassio 3, and he was the Bruiser +1, and that's fine. I'm trying to skip to where it is. If you look at, like, I just bleed out because I don't have a carry, and I end up trying to send it for Azir towards the end. But this guy isn't even that strong because Shurima doesn't really matter, right? Because it's not that strong of a trade, especially if you're contested. Like, Shurima's the power is going 8 and getting like a lot of units in and stuff. I'm just skipping to the end because basically I just bleed out. There's nothing I can really do. I roll down again because I'm 1 HP, and I hit 1 Azir, and I'm trying to fit in the Nasus. But I think the main takeaways was on that roll down, I should have held the Fiora, and I should have tried to play Fiora Demacia. Was it better? Probably not. Maybe I donkey roll for the Fiora, but I think even on this roll down, I don't see another Fiora, which is a bit hindsight. You know, maybe the game would have been different if I held the Fioras. And also holding the Kai'Sa. Basically, any carry besides MF, it's not as much as, like, something that you don't consider, but you should consider is the HP, right? All these guys, even this guy, he's 17 HP. This guy's 9 HP. These were the main 2 guys, I think, that both have a 0-2. One of them is going to die before me, so long as I saved a bit of health, right? Because I had more health than them earlier, and I rolled earlier, so I had a stronger board earlier. If I saved more health, which I should have done, that's why I was saying I should have held on to the Kai'Sa, held on to the Fiora, even though it's not a stronger board than maybe what I was going for, I would have outlived them, probably, right? Especially here, like, if I didn't die, this was my last round, right? If I didn't die right here, so I just slammed my Azir items. I put in the Azir. I messed up, I didn't put in 6 Shurima. I was supposed to switch out the Swain. But I'm playing this guy who's Ionia +2 with a Nyla 2. He pivoted into Ionia. I don't even know where he came from, because when I was scouting I was more concerned with the other guys. But you know, whatever. Anyways, I die. I hate these cinematics, not because like they're BM, just because like I want to see the board, right? I don't want to wait like 10 seconds to see what happened, right? I want to see like as soon as I die what was around me. But look, one of the guys died. This guy's the only other guy, but he's 9 HP, and there's no way he's beating a lot of those other capped boards. So he's gonna die too. If I lived this round, right, if I had like enough HP for one more round, I might have been able to stabilize by hitting the Azir eventually, or at least hitting the Fiora or the Kai'Sa if I was playing around those boards. I think that's the main takeaway. Now, I think this video is already really long. I'm just kind of rambling, because like I'm not sure how to do these like loss videos yet. But a lot of the mistakes, early game, I kind of said what my mistakes were. A lot of it was just making the wrong assumptions of the lobby. That's entirely my fault, right? Of course. I think it sucks that people pivoted into Shurima and then just decided to go Shurima. But obviously, like, I don't know what their board looks like. I don't know what their shop looks like. I don't know what their augments look like. And I don't know what they're thinking in their head, right? So I think they're all justified, right? I want the main takeaway to be they're all justified. And, right, I'm not angry at any of them. And I'm like, you know, I think the main takeaway you should take about this is that I think that I made way more mistakes than all of them, right? I think everybody makes mistakes. I pointed out like what my logic was of how I thought they were thinking and why I thought what they were doing might have been wrong. But I'm not pointing it out because I'm saying they're wrong, they did bad. What I'm saying is this was the logic I had when I made my decision, right? I was trying to think what's the best thing they can do and how does that affect me? And I was wrong in assuming what the best things they would do were and what they were doing. And it's also maybe they don't play the best things they can do because they're playing what they have. Like, you know, obviously, like, I think this video would be a lot longer if I went through like something that I do now that's separate from this video. I think is I go through their boards. I also look at what items they had. I think about what item combinations they could have had, because maybe that was an indicator of what they were doing. But that's a lot of like early game stuff. Mid game, I think I played well. I didn't really talk about slamming items, but I slammed my items. Instead of slamming like a Nashor's to them being stuck with random items, I slammed items that I felt like could be flexible. They can work for multiple different carries on my roll down. But then I think I was just so stressed and tilted that on my roll down, I saw signs of life like Fiora and Kai'Sa, and there was 2 Kai'Sas, and I messed up because I was just rolling. Right, I was rolling fast because I was scared other people were also rolling. I just wanted to hit my Azir and cash out. But in turn, like, not only did I not hit the Azir, I also fumbled my bench, which made me like in a really bad spot. Oh yeah, this is the guy. Wait, where is he? I think it's showed here. Yeah, so this is the guy. He like rolled for Bruiser +1 and then took that. I don't know. But like, you know, and then like while we're 3-way contesting for Azir with a 4th guy grabbing some Shurima units, right? Because he was going Bruiser. There's like 4 open spots where we have 2 Giga strong Noxus players, 1 Giga strong other guy, and I think I didn't even play the multicaster guy. There's a multicaster guy, I'm sure, in the lobby, or maybe pivot off multicaster and he went Nyla carry because he hit that. Maybe that was the same guy. But anyways, oh yeah, there's this Ionia guy, which was the Nyla guy, but I don't think this was the multicaster guy. He might have been though. He might have pivoted off multicaster because he hit a bunch of Nylas and stuff, but I just wasn't paying attention to this guy, right? But look at how strong everybody else is, and look how weak I am. You know what I mean? I think that was just misplaying the whole way through, right? I misplayed my tome, misplayed my early game. I stabilized and I had a good chance late game, but I didn't identify a good out here, right? I think playing either Kai'Sa, Nyla, or Kai'Sa, Nyla, or the other dude, because I have 3 Bilgewater anyways. Kai'Sa, Nyla, or Fiora would have been good. I think Fiora was probably the best one, but was also a bit stretchy, because the reason I sold the Fiora so quickly is because I didn't have a Jarvan either. But I should have just played a hodgepodge board until I hit the Jarvan, and then I maybe stabilized because I had good Fiora items, right? It was a bit dubious, but I shouldn't have sold them so quickly because I gained like what? 1 or 2 extra gold. Did it really matter? No. It's because I was kind of like, my mindset was more towards I'm rolling so much earlier than everybody else. Surely I hit an Azir, and I giga low rolled at the end, right? I rolled like 50 gold before everybody else sent it. I think they sent it on 4-2 because I scouted before. They might have sent it during like slight roll and they hit 1 Azir and then they hit 2 more. like hitting 2-star forecast on level 4 is really high roll anyways, right? I just want to point that out. So both of them hitting a 0-2 contested on 7, while I was also rolling earlier than them. You know, I think that kind of broke me at that point. I was like, just give me my 8th, I'm out of here. But I still could have played for a 7, and it matters more towards outliving one of these guys, because he wasn't stable, because he didn't have that good of a board, or maybe good augments and stuff. But anyways, okay, so that's the video. Hopefully it was kind of learning. I don't think I was really like bitching or anything. I think I did a good recap. It's really long. Watch it on 2x speed maybe. I'll put in the description. I don't know how it got so long, but I think like I'm just trying to like analyze every situation and try and improve, right? A lot of times with losses, I'll even do more than this, right? Obviously I'm not talking, so I can go a lot faster, but I suggest you do these kind of VOD reviews for a lot of your other videos. Hopefully it was helpful. If you don't like it, and if I get a lot of hate and slack for it, I probably won't do much of these ends anymore, because I feel like they're not as like fun to do either. But anyways, yeah, that's how I got 8th in the lobby. GG.